Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the fastest HTML learning tutorial on the internet. So let's get started. Let me show you a quick demo or representation of what HTML is. On a daily basis, you surf the internet, you purchase, and you Google something. All these web pages, all these web pages have a structure written in HTML. So these web pages cannot be designed until you have a knowledge of HTML. So let's get started. So for designing HTML pages, I'm going to be using a software which is freely available for the Windows, which is the Notepad. So I'm going to be typing out all my code in Notepad. You can use Notepad++ if you want, but Notepad is of course free. And Notepad++ is also free, but Notepad is pre-installed. That's why I'm gonna use it. So let's get started. So actually, how it works? Why we write our entire web page in HTML? Why it's so? The reason being, when the your browser sees your HTML page, it makes it outputs it not as an HTML document, but as a simple web page which you see on the internet. So you must know the language in which these web pages are originally written, and if you do so, you will be able to create your beautiful websites, web pages and all. HTML is a markup language, which means it's not a programming language. There are certain rules that are pretty simple, to start HTML you just need to type out opening angle bracket HTML and a closing angle bracket, and then to end your HTML document you just need to type out / and same HTML and close it. Now whatever you type in between these two HTML angle brackets would be your HTML document, and you don't have to write outside of these, so everything would be inside. So I zoomed the page and let's get started. So everything in between HTML is gonna be our content. So let's get started. Now every HTML page has two subparts in it. First subpart and the second subpart. First subpart is known as the head. Like a human head, you can think it of as where all your technical information goes on for analogy purpose, and you can think of it as information that does not appear on the web page. So we are starting from body section. This second section is known as body section. In this body section, whatever you type is displayed on your web page. So this portion is displayed, but this isn't. So let's type out the head section. Head section is written by angle bracket head and closing angle bracket, and definitely this open and closing angle brackets. Now in HTML we call this opening angle bracket this thing, and closing angle bracket this thing, something inside angle bracket and something, is known as tag. And HTML is pretty much created in a way that it has an opening tag and a closing tag. So head section starts from here and head section ends here. For body section, we begin body section by typing out BODY body, and close it by typing / BODY. So it's closed. So the head section goes here. Your body section is just this much. Also, it's better in HTML to type out code in indented format like this, and let's indent it also to make it appear nice. So let's get started with body. So in body we have several tags for representing your heading, paragraph and all. That's pretty easy. So let's start with heading. So for opening angle brackets, H for heading, and you can type out 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 up to last is 6. 1 is the biggest heading and 6 is the lowest heading, like 1 for top position. So 1 we're typing out the biggest heading, and we're typing out heading and closing it / H1, and this is our biggest heading. And I've written H6 as next heading. So H1 is biggest heading, this one, and H6 is the smallest heading. So let's save it. To save an HTML document, just go to File and Save As, and save it as something you like. Let's save it as index. I'm gonna save it as index.html, and let's save it on the desktop so that you can see it. And here, let's open it, and as you can see, the output is this bigger heading and a smaller heading. So you understood. So let's move on to the next tag. In HTML, we have a simple tag. If you don't want the heading, this one was headed for heading. If you want a paragraph instead, for paragraph we have just P opening, and we have an enclosing P, and in between whatever we type is gonna be in paragraph. So let's type out something. So guys, I've written in under my P tag that I like Natalie Portman. I've written it 1,000 times or so, like so, and ended it with closing P tag. So this is my paragraph. So let's see the output. So you can see the output as that all this stuff, it has come with each other. This is together as a whole, and it's the paragraph. If I type out another paragraph and copy and paste it like so, and you can see that I've added another paragraph like this, and let's see the output. So you can see that these two paragraphs have a line break in between them. That's by default. So if you add another para here, there'll obviously be a line break in between the. Why that? HTML decided. I don't know. And also one thing, if you might have noticed, that if I have this much of space, even though I save it and see the output, it doesn't shows up this space. The reason being that it eliminates this much of white space and only represents a single white space. So what if you don't want the P tags line break, but instead you just want to type out something, and after that you want to type out something, and in between these two you want a line break. For that, let's add a line break. So you can see this first heading is H1, the second heading is H2, and between this we want a line break. So let's type out the line break, and the tag for line break, sorry, I did this. So the tag for line break is angle bracket BR, and you might think this is weird, but it doesn't have a closing tag. The reason being, if you see these H1 tag, they have content that's this being displayed. H2, this content that's being displayed. But in case of a line break, there isn't any content. So why ending brace, closing bracket? There's no need for that, and that's why it isn't. So you just have to type out this ending brace. But for a good programming purpose, you can say you should place a forward slash for it to represent this tag has ended. Now if you see the output, it contains a line break, and if you notice, the line break is of two line breaks, not one. BR only shows one line of break. Then why the hell these two line breaks? The reason being, if you use heading tags, they are called something, they works like a block. That means if you use it and use again another block, then it would automatically have a line break like this. You can see it automatically have a line break. What if you wanna type out hello and you just wanna make changes make it bold? You just have to type out B tag for that and close this B tag, and what you did, you just grab your content at the B tag, and the output you can see. So guys, there are more interesting stuff to come on. I've divided this video into two parts so that you can easily grasp knowledge. Join me in a second.